This is Marco Music Spirit here from MP Sound Studio, and this is a tutorial on basically how to mix R&B vocals and backgrounds and things of that sort. This particular artist is Friday. This is from one of his upcoming projects. I want to show you how I went about getting some of the vocal mixes done to this particular project. So first thing I'll do is I'll play the vocal raw, then I'll play the mix, and I'll show you how I went about getting the mix. So this is the vocal raw.
I've been sitting here contemplating, thinking, what should I do? Trying to leave, trying to stay away, but I drove back to you. I was hurting, you didn't even know it.
So there's already a mix on the instrumental, so that's why the vocal sounds extremely low. But that's the ballpark of what the rough sounds like. Well, first thing I'll do is I'll play what the mix sounds like, and then I'll show you how I went about getting what I got.
I've been sitting here contemplating, thinking, what should I do? Trying to leave, trying to stay away, but I drove back to you. I was hurting, you didn't even know it.
So what I have here is I loop a certain section of the song where it has backgrounds and the main vocals, but for now I'll mute the backgrounds. So this is this vocal playing with nothing on there, and I'll show you how I went about it.
And I know we've been through some things, but this should.
So first thing I did was I added a EQ, and this EQ is the HEQ by Waves. And what I did was I did a sweep, and I raised some of the high end, took some of the mid off, and wrote off some of the low end. And this is what it sounds like with the EQ on there.
And I know we've been through some things, but this shouldn't be the.
So second thing I did was I tuned his vocal.
And I know we've been through some things, but this shouldn't be the.
And I tuned his vocals just so his vocals could match the melody and the note of the song, and so it didn't sound too off where like certain notes like he was like flat or stuff like that. Not saying that he's a bad singer, just so I could have the vocals in line with the music. A lot of his S's pop out a lot in this particular track, so I did some basic de-essing on here.
And I know we've been through some things, but this shouldn't be the.
So that's pretty basic and straightforward for people who knows what de-essing is. Fourth thing I did on here was I added the CLA 2A, which is one of my favorite plugins, and I have the peak reduction at 60.
And I know we've been through some things, but this shouldn't be the end.
So that gave the vocal a little more character, a little more color, and it enhanced the vocals. And as I like to do, I always have the analog section off just because of the noise that it makes when you add a lot of them on a track. So this is what it sounds like again.
And I know we've been through some things.
Fifth thing I did was I added the delay just to get the vocals bouncing around a little and to fill in the spaces in between, like his phrases and his words.
And I know we've been through some things, but this shouldn't be the end. I'm so in love with you.
Next thing I did was I added this stereo spread on there just to give the vocal a stereo image.
And I know we've been through some things, but this shouldn't be the end.
The delay gives the vocal a nice little color to it, and wanted the vocal to be a little brighter, so I added another channel EQ from Logic. And what I did was I raised the high end just a little bit just to get his vocals a little brighter, and this is what it sounds like.
And I know we've been through some things, but this shouldn't be the end.
And I kind of still wanted his vocals to be a little wider, so what I did was I made a send, and what I did on that send was I added a EQ and I added a reverb, and what I did was I cut some of the low end off of the reverb, and I cut some of the high end off of the reverb.
And I know we've been through some things, but this shouldn't be the end.
So it basically gave the vocal a wider sound, and kind of wanted the vocal to be still a little punching out more, just a little bit more in your face on top of the mix. So what I did was I made another send, and I added the CLA 76, which is another one of my favorite plugins from Waves, and this is what it sounds like with.
And I know we've been through some things, but this shouldn't be the end.
And that's what I did for the main vocals. As far as the backgrounds, this is the final mix of the vocals with the backgrounds. So this is what it sounds like.
This shouldn't be the end. I'm so in love with you. I don't know what to do. I know I got a few.
So let me mute the vocals so you could hear what it sounds like together. The backgrounds and the main vocal.
This shouldn't be the end. I'm so in love with you. I don't know what to do. I know I got a few.
So that gives it a nice sound, a nice color to it. So what I did to the backgrounds was I panned each one. Let me see. This is one of the vocals, one of the background vocals.
I'm so in love with you.
So I panned that one to the left. And what I did on there was I added the CLA. I added a little tune, a little reverb on there, just to make it sound a little wider, like he's in a larger room. And I added, this is the plugin that's basically giving it the sound that it has. It's the doubler by Waves, and I have just one of the presets on there, and I have this chorus sound. And when he gave me this particular track, the chorus was already on there, so kind of wanted to complement it with the doubler. So I have that on this vocal.
So in love with you.
And he has another vocal right here, which is doing like the lower tone voice.
I don't know what to do.
And I kind of have the same effects going, just minus the chorus. I decided not to go with this. And I have the doubler going on in there again, so it gives it that sound. The only thing I changed in this one was the EQ. Even though I rolled some of the low end off, I raised a lot of the mid and some of the high just to get it punching through the mix. So this is what it sounds like together.
I'm so in love with you. I don't know what to do.
And I did a lot of panning on this vocal just so everything wasn't coming through the center. So this is what this sounds like with the ad libs
I'm
panned
so
and everything.
alone with you. I don't know what to do. I know I got a few.
So that's that, and here goes the main vocal with that.
I'm so in love with you. I don't know what to do. I know I got a few.
This is everything together.
I'm so in love with you. I don't know what to do. I know I got a few. She don't compare to you. I was in love with you. Now I found someone different. Someone different. Someone different. Someone different. Now I found someone different. Someone different. Someone different.
And that's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below, or if you have any comments, just leave it below. If you have any requests on a certain genre, just you can message me on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. And thanks for watching.